Hello, beautiful people. My name's Paula, and I'm the grief guru and author. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit today on mistakes people make when grieving. I know, I can almost hear you say, mistakes? People don't make mistakes. People grieve in their own way, surely. Yeah? And that's absolutely true. People do grieve in their own way. But time and time again, I see these mistakes that people make, and it only adds to their stress and their tension. Now, today I'm just going to mention two. If you want the full list, then you need to join my group and hop on over onto Facebook. And women, I can invite you into my private group for women who are ready to come back to life after grief. Okay, so grief, actually, yes, of course it is. It's a personal journey, and it will be done in that person's own way and in their own time. Now, when I'm saying mistakes, what I'm talking about is what people perceive as real, or what society has dictated, and the mistakes that people make are believing them, which only adds to their stress, it only adds to their tension, it only adds to their exhaustion, it only adds to their overwhelm. So why would you do it? I see this time and time again with clients, and I have to challenge it all the time. Why are you believing that? Why do you think like that? Who decided these rules? Okay? So let's just jump right in and let's talk about the first mistake clients make. They assume that when working with a grief therapist that we have a magic wand, that somehow we're going to make it all better and as quick as you like. Yeah? Because people believe that there is some kind of magical process that once you've gone through all the pain and you've gone through as many tears as you can cry, and you've gone through these stages of grief that people throw around all over the place, that you're going to be magically better. And it's all going to be rosy again. Wrong. That's your first mistake. Certainly, you can find life again. You can have an amazing life if you do the work. If you embrace your feelings, to really feel them, to release them. And that's something that I help my women do with my 5-month program. To really feel every emotion, to really acknowledge every thought and action, because you have to do the work. I am not going to come along and go, ding, there you go, your grief is all better now after a couple of sessions of talking to me. Yes, we're all fine. I'm sorry. I sometimes really do wish I did have a magic wand, because some of the things that I see and hear, they're heartbreaking. Of course they are. My own grief was heartbreaking, losing my son. But there is no magic wand, and I'm sorry you make the mistake of believing that there is. When you work with an experienced grief therapist like myself, we can take you through the process. We can hold you. We can hold that sacred space. We can guide you. We can support you. We can care. We can help. We can nurture. We can challenge. We can reflect. But we can't take the pain away until you've done the work. And once you've worked through all that, you come out the other side. And it takes as long as it takes, usually. Okay? So there's mistake number one that I do come across a lot. Mistake number 2 that I do come across a lot, sadly, is if you don't cry, or what's the other one? If you don't cry enough, there's something wrong with you. People make the mistake of believing that. Especially men, sadly. You know, men do believe that boys don't cry. You know, men don't cry. Well, of course they do. Sadly, society seems to feel uncomfortable with that, and men try and hold it in more than women. But sadly, I'm seeing a lot of women who, what's the first thing they do when they start to cry? They apologize. I'm so sorry. What are you sorry for? Crying? Being human? Having feelings? What is it? Because you're not embarrassing me. So yes, that is one of the biggest mistakes I do see. People making the mistake of believing that if they don't cry, they obviously haven't grieved. Wrong. You are grieving in your own way. Just because you don't cry, or you haven't cried enough. You may cry, you may not. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that you aren't grieving. It doesn't mean that you aren't going through pain and sorrow. It just means that you're not crying. But I'll bet your sorrow and your grief is coming out in other ways. So if you are somebody who isn't crying or not feeling like they're crying enough, sit down and think about what you are doing. Write it down. How am I feeling? And how is that coming out? Perhaps you're working more. Perhaps you're trying to keep busy all the time. Perhaps you're very angry and you're snapping at everybody, or you're just angry with the world and everything kicks you off. You know, there's lots of ways that grief comes out. It doesn't always have to be about crying. Okay? Now, for the full list, please go over to my Facebook page where you can friend me, and women, I can invite you in to my inner group circle for women, a safe space for you to be, to heal, to begin your journey the other side of grief. And here you can also talk to me about accessing my 5-month program, Embrace Your Grief and Be the Author of Your Own Healing. And this is for women ready to come back to life after grief. I put this program together over years of trial and error. And as I became a therapist, as I gained more experience, as I went through my own trauma, the death of my son and the death of my mum, I found ways that worked. And I put together this 5-month program, and I will guarantee it works for you. It will shift your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and you will elevate your vibration. So if you want to have a chat to me about that, contact me here and you can book a free call with me. If you want to hear the rest of those mistakes that people make, then find my page on Facebook, Paula J. Roscoe, Grief Guru and Author, and I will invite you in. Okay, you have a great day. Lots of love.